All right, y'all. So this is going to be part 3 of the backstory of Chiron. Chiron is an aspect of the birth chart that represents the wounded healer or the wounded warrior energy. Okay, so I'm just giving a backstory on it. So caught in a crossfire, Chiron was wounded by one of the arrows. Now keep in mind that arrows are poisonous. Okay, so it caused Chiron a lot of pain. All right, he was in agonizing pain, and he just could not, even though he was a healer, he just could not seem to heal himself from the pain he was suffering. Now keep in mind that he's immortal, so that means that he cannot die, and that means that if he were to stay in this pain, that he would have it for an eternity. Okay, so he would feel pain every day because he's immortal. Remember, he's the son of Cronus. Okay, so the pain was just unbearable for Chiron. So Hercules was able to come into contact with Zeus, okay, and make a deal with Zeus, which, remember, this is basically the half brother of Chiron, because that is the son of Cronus. Remember, in the beginning, Cronus sought out to find Zeus. All right, so Hercules was able to strike a deal with Zeus to basically free Chiron of his pain and you know, basically clear him of his immortality, because the pain was too unbearable for Chiron. So even though Chiron was a prominent healer, he just could not seem to heal himself from the pain. All right, so Hercules struck a deal with Zeus in return for Prometheus, which is another Greek character in Greek mythology. Okay, so Prometheus was an immortal who was punished for stealing. Okay, and so as a result of that, his liver would get pecked out every single day. Okay, by some kind of a bird. I can't think of the name of the bird. Okay, only to grow back. All right, so in exchange for Prometheus to be relieved of what he was going through, Chiron was willing to exchange himself, all right, like his life, give up his immortality to free him, just because the pain was so unbearable. Okay, so they struck that deal with Zeus, and as a result of that, Chiron was granted his wish to be relieved of immortality, so he does not feel the pain. But he was basically positioned in the what they call a firmament. Okay, and he was giving the place of Centaurus or Sagittarius in the constellations. Okay, so that's where Chiron was sent, and that is the place where he stands in the cosmos, basically. So he gave up his immortality. All right, y'all, so this is part 4, and we're talking and we're giving a backstory of Chiron energy in the birth chart, kind of giving a backstory of the mythology on Chiron. All right, so we know Chiron represents that aspect of the birth chart where the wounded warrior or wounded healer resides. Okay, so basically that is the story of Chiron. I kind of wrapped it up in the last video, but Chiron was basically unable to heal his own wounds, even though he was able to go around and heal so many other people. When it came down to healing himself, he just couldn't, right? And so we know that Chiron, the mythology tells us 2 wounds that Chiron has. All right, so at birth, him being abandoned, so that's going to be his deepest emotional wound. All right, which is what Chiron represents in the birth chart. All right, also he was wounded again because he was hit by that poisonous arrow shot by Hercules. Okay, so in the end, he was granted to be relieved of his immortality, only to be released into the firmament, and he sits in the constellation of Centaurus or Sagittarius. Okay, that's where he's fixed at. All right, so Chiron, like I said, teaches us our deepest wounds. So when we look at an area in the birth chart and we're looking at our Chiron energy, that is what we're looking at. All right, so all of my students know I always tell them to make sure they go and check to see where their Chiron is, because if you can get past your Chiron wound and find a way to heal yourself, also heal others, okay, teach others how to heal themselves also, okay, it can open up a certain gateway, all right, for further spiritual elevation. All right, so that is the importance of it, guys. Very important. Most people overlook the Chiron aspect of the birth chart, I never do recommend that because you want to know where it is. So for me, I'm going to share mine with y'all. My Chiron is in Gemini, okay? Meaning that is my deepest wound. So we know Gemini represents communication. It represents education, you know, short travel. Mainly we want to, and intelligence, okay? We mainly want to pay attention to education, communication, intelligence when it comes down to Gemini energy, okay? So for me, that's where my deepest wound was, guys. And well, I don't want to say it was, but is. And so as a result of that, you know, by me actively working and speaking, teaching others now, you know, that gives me an opportunity to heal the wound in the area. So a person with Chiron and Gemini will have troubles in the area of feeling intelligent, feeling that they can communicate effectively, okay, and that really feeds into your self-esteem, okay. So I always actively work towards healing my wound in that area. And so that's why. All right, y'all. So this will be like a part 5, but I'm just wrapping things up. And I just share with y'all where my Chiron energy is, okay? My wounded healer, wounded warrior energy is, okay? All of this can be seen in the birth chart, guys. I always recommend you go to your birth chart, get to know yourself, learn yourself through your birth chart, okay? Very important to understand your energy, okay? Remember, I always tell y'all, we're dealing with nothing but energy and vibration here, okay? So the spiritual journey is really a journey of getting to know oneself, okay? It comes with a series of self-realizations, okay? And this is going to help you in the process of mastering your own mind, okay? Because that is what the spiritual journey is really about, mastering your own mind. Now, in the process of you doing the work on yourself, you may be able to help others as well, all right? So that is basically, you know, why I actively work to heal myself in certain areas. I'm always getting on. I'm teaching, you know, I speak and I share what I know with the rest of the world, okay? And whoever gravitates towards that and they can learn from me, that is good, okay? So when I'm speaking to you all, okay, when I'm helping to heal people and I'm doing shadow work sessions and all of those things, I'm talking to myself. I'm actively healing myself at the same time as I help to heal others. So that is kind of the beauty of it, guys. All right, and this is why you really want to get into, you know, your birth chart, get into really getting to know yourself on a higher spiritual level, okay? Now, all of these things can be found in your birth chart, even you know, your natural healing abilities, okay? Because if I were to show you a snapshot of my birth chart, you will see in there that I have a natural healing quality, okay? So that is kind of like a life purpose, if you will, all right? So you would know what you're supposed to be doing. It will give you certain indications of what you should be doing, where you're going to find your blessings, okay? If you are a natural healer, okay? All of that can be seen actually in your birth chart. Okay, so it will show itself and present itself there, all right? So do not sleep on, you know, getting into your birth chart, learning how to read it, studying yourself, paying attention to your own actions, okay? Again, guys, we do not learn this for it to take control of us, but we learn this so we can understand what we're dealing with here in this reality, in this existence, okay? They do not call this place a matrix for nothing, all right? So we are confined by certain things because we have physical bodies, all right? And there is nothing new under the sun, okay? So you can find everything literally about yourself in your birth chart, y'all. It is not a joke. It is real, all right? But we want to learn these things so that we can help ourselves transcend out of it to another level, okay? So anything that we can be confined by, we can escape, okay?